Hey guys, it was good. JJJBoxing here. So just watched Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez versus Joe Smith Jr. Great fight. See, that's the kind of boxing we like. No Canelo versus Charlo shit here. Two fighters who fight to win the fight and put it all on the line and sit down on their shots. And beautiful boxing by Zurdo. Joe Smith Jr. willing to sit down on his shots. He's not tentative. He's willing to land one. He's willing to get hit a couple times to land one of his own shots, which that's what we like to see. Guys who are fighting to win the fight, not just for the paycheck, not just for any of that bullshit. They're here to win because they're fighters. So this is the kind of fights we like to see, guys. I thought it was a great fight. A lot of action. Going into the fight, I don't know who really to pick, who I thought was going to win. But I did favor Zurdo just because he's only lost to Bivol. And Joe Smith, he was coming off the knockout loss to Beterbiev. He's had he's had the higher level competition, I would say, but he's known for just like the power shots. He got into boxing kind of late. I'm pretty sure. What was he, like a construction worker, or he worked at Home Depot as well? I always get him confused with Gabe Rosado because I think Gabe Rosado he worked at Home Depot, or he was a construction worker as well. One of them worked at Home Depot, but I think that was Gabe. I think Joe Smith is just the construction worker, but who knows? Maybe they both worked at Home Depot. I don't know. But yeah, so I favored Gilberto Zurdo just because he had the more boxing skills, but Joe Smith is a powerhouse. So, like, I couldn't count him out, but I favored Zurdo. But anything could have happened. And it kind of played out that way because the way the fight went was like, Zurdo was having a lot of success earlier in the fight. He was outboxing him. Clearly, you could tell he's been boxing all his life. I assume he has been. I don't know everything about Zurdo's background, but he looks like he's been in the gym since a kid, whereas Joe Smith looks like he picked it up late, which he did. And not to say that he's bad fighter or anything, but you can just see the technical skills of Ramirez, the way he throws combinations. He's been doing it for a long time. And Joe Smith, the problem with him is he's not a combination puncher, really. He's just more of a 1-2 power shot combination, like what Canelo does. But Canelo is obviously more technically sound, I would say, than Joe. But that's kind of like Joe's style's kind of similar to Canelo's in the sense that they try to just land 1 or 2 power shots at a time, which can hurt them, but it can also help them as well because even though Joe Smith was being outboxed clearly and he was the slower guy, he was timing Zurdo sometimes, or when Zurdo got a little bit too comfortable. And I noticed Joe Smith was playing possum very well. I loved the way he was playing possum. He would appear like he was hurt and he would start backing up to the ropes out of nowhere. And he was trying to lure Zurdo in. And Zurdo was smart, though. He was boxing smart for most of the fight. And he didn't really take a bite for most of his... he didn't take the bait, I would say, for most of the time. But he did get caught sometimes. And then he got hit with some big overhand rights that probably would have knocked out a lot of other fighters. And some counter left hooks by... Joe Smith. But for the most part, Zurdo kept it smart, and he was on his toes, using his legs very well. And still, though, wasn't running. He was boxing, throwing a lot of combinations as he was moving. And good power shots, good straight lefts. Very good, like I said, combination punching. He was landing on Joe. Joe Smith started to come back later in the fight because I think, like I said, Zurdo was maybe getting a bit tired, but I think he was getting a little too comfortable in there. And he got clipped and he got hurt, I think, a couple times during this fight. Whereas I think some fighters probably would have got knocked out by... Like, there was one big overhand right that Joe Smith threw at the end of round 7, I think it was. That was like... It was the equivalent to, like, Canelo landing the overhand right on Triple G, I think, in the first fight. Like, that was pretty crazy, that shot. Go back, guys, and watch that. You probably know what I'm talking about. Canelo landed the cleanest overhand right you possibly could in boxing, in the game of boxing. Pretty much the same right hand he landed on Mir Khan that put him to sleep. And Triple G just took it and kept on walking forward. This is the kind of similar right hand that Joe Smith landed on Zurdo, and he ate it. I don't know how, but he ate it. It was at the end of round 7, I think, but I could be wrong. It was around the later half of the fight, but it was only a 10-round fight. Too bad it wasn't a 12-round fight, because this fight was a great fight. It looked like Zurdo was just going to easily outbox him, but Joe Smith did show flashes of his power and landed some shots in the first half of the fight as well, but you kind of thought maybe... Like, it was kind of far-fetched that maybe... Like not far-fetched, but because to be honest, I believe Joe Smith had a chance the whole fight to knock him out, but it appeared like Ramirez, if he was going to go to the cards, it was going to be probably a wide score. That's what it appeared like it was going to be, but then as the fight progressed in the second half, Joe Smith started actually winning some rounds, and it got pretty... It became a closer fight and a competitive fight, which I think deserves a rematch. The judges had the scores kind of lopsided, like 9-1, which I don't agree with. I thought Smith maybe won. Like, I wasn't really scoring it. Like when I watched it the first time, I'm kind of just enjoying the fight. But to me, it looked like Joe Smith was making it pretty competitive. Like, I thought Zurdo clearly won the fight, so I'm not mad about who won the fight, but the scorecards. I thought Joe Smith at least won maybe, I know 3 rounds for sure, but I wouldn't, 3 or 4 rounds I could see. Because round 11 he was going to win it, and then he got hurt at the end and he kind of gave it away. So that would have actually evened it up. And so, but yeah, I think it deserves a rematch because I think it was a competitive fight. But the Zurdo was the clear winner. Like I said, I have to go back, but I think it was like 3 or 4 rounds for Joe Smith, because when his shots landed, I feel like it had more of an effect on Ramirez, on Zurdo. But Zurdo he landed big shots as well that got Joe Smith's attention, good combinations. But I just feel like the heavier shots that had more effect were Joe Smith. But the problem was he wasn't landing as much clean shots as Zurdo was. Zurdo was more consistent with landing shots that were powerful as well, just not as powerful. But Joe Smith he didn't land enough clean shots to win rounds, to win more rounds than Zurdo. But this is the kind of fights we like to see, guys. 2 guys trying to win a fight. This was for the cruiserweight. It's like what do you call it? The interim or whatever. I don't even know what you call it. They're in line to face the champ for, I think it was the IBF Eliminator or something. Not the interim belt, but the IBF. I think it was IBF Eliminator or WBA Eliminator. Actually, no, I think it was the WBA. It's a WBA title eliminator, so they could be in line to face the WBA holder. But yeah, like, like I said, we've seen last week with Canelo and Charlo, and that was just garbage because one, and I'm not blaming Canelo, I'm blaming Charlo. When you look back on that, Charlo didn't try to win the fight at all. Like these guys just proved it. When you got two guys, like Joe Smith was clearly being outboxed and being outmatched on a boxing skill level, but he made it a close competitive fight because he's got attributes that others don't with his power and his ferocious come forward style. He can make it, he can, like, you know what I mean? He can make it a fight with his own ability, even though he's outmatched in other ways. And if he didn't have that mentality, he would have just been completely outboxed. So Charlo kind of let down the boxing fans with that kind of performance. But anyway, I thought it was a very good fight. Looking forward to seeing Joe Smith and Zurdo again. I think Zurdo might be fighting for a title next against one of the, I think it was the WBA guys. Could be wrong, but I think it was. So that will be good. Joe Smith is still in the mix because he put in a very good performance. Just a great fight overall. It makes you just really... These are the kind of nights in boxing that you actually like being a boxing fan. When you get an exciting fight like this, I know the decision was lopsided, but like I said, you can't... The right guy won the fight, so you can't complain there. I just wish the judges would actually watch the fight more closely. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. It's that's boxing for you. But let me know what you guys thought about the fight. Did you enjoy the fight? I really enjoyed the fight. Always been a fan of, like I said, Joe Smith Jr. He's got that. He's a powerful guy. The common man, was a construction worker, and a very humble guy. Zurdo Ramirez showed off great boxing skills tonight. He was humble in his post-fight interview, saying it's nothing personal. We can be friends after the fight. Joe Smith showing his respect to him, saying he was boxing very well. I thought I heard him a couple times, but he was boxing very well, and he pretty much... It was just a all-around just a good event there, between these two men. The post-fight interviews, that's what we like to see in boxing. Humbleness, good all-around fight, respect at the end of the fight. That's what we like to see. So looking forward to seeing these two guys fight again. And I know Zurdo would like that Bivol rematch, but I don't know, if he would be able to beat Bivol, to be honest, even after this. He is at cruiserweight now, and so I don't know. We'll see, because Bivol would have to move up. But both guys made it clear that they're both going to be staying at cruiserweight. Joe Smith even said, "I'm not going back down." So we all know that Zurdo had trouble making weight his last fight. That's why he moved up to cruiserweight. But it seems now that Joe Smith isn't going to go back down to light heavyweight anymore either. So if these guys, if Zurdo wants a rematch with Bivol has to move up then, which probably isn't going to happen anytime soon, but maybe in the future. But respect to Joe Smith Jr. He made it a close fight, landing his hard power shots, overhand rights, his relentless pressure, and Zurdo with his just beautiful combinations, footwork, straight left hands, boxing beautifully. So I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch. Maybe not immediately, but I wouldn't mind it, to be honest. This was a great fight. But yeah, this is JJJBoxing, guys. And hopefully you enjoyed the fight. And leave your comments in the comment section. I'd like to hear what you thought about this. And thanks for watching. Take care.